So let's talk about perspective, because the single biggest thing that is going to enable your child to live to their full potential is the way that they think and feel about themselves and about the world and about what they think they're capable of. Now, why is perception so important? Because your perception directly affects your experience. So let me give you an example, because all people, events, and things just are. But the way that we perceive them directly affects our experience. So for example, two people watching a football match, one of them is going to have an amazing experience, and the other person who loses is going to have an awful experience. The exact same stimuli elicits a completely different response depending on the thoughts and the feelings of the person experiencing them. And that is why your internal world and your child's internal world is absolutely critical. I mean, seriously, if I'd have known these things when I was a child, God even knows what I would have been able to achieve. The last 2.5 years, what I've been able to achieve, changing my mindset and view and the way I think and feel about things has blown my mind. And it's why I teach what I do, or teach what I teach to children with music. Because if you can imagine that during the first 7 years of life, your child is forming the lens that they are going to use for the rest of their lives, how they see themselves, who they think they're capable of, who they think they're going to be, whether they're going to be successful, whether they approach a problem with a negative attitude, or whether they see their life as something that they're grateful for and the opportunities that they have. It's all about perspective. Okay? And people talk about happiness being a choice, and that's because it is. Do you know, there are people, some people think that people are happy and genuinely happy, and some people have a naturally happy mindset. Why is that? It's because that mindset has been taught in early childhood. Children do not copy what you say, they copy what you are. And therefore, the way that you are parenting your children in the first 6-7 years of life is absolutely vital if you want to be intentional about raising a wholehearted human who lives to their full potential. Because every single interaction is teaching them something about who they are, whether they can solve problems, whether they can swim in any sea that they come across, whether they see things in a positive way or a negative way. And that is why your child's perspective is so important. Because, little story I heard the other day, you're going to love this. The story is about two shoe salesmen, and they both go to Africa. And the first one, they want to sell this new shoe, right? And the first salesman rings back and he says, this isn't going to work. Nobody here wears shoes. You know what's coming, right? The second salesman rings back and goes, this is amazing. Nobody here wears shoes. Exactly the same stimuli, okay? And it's all about the way you choose. And it is a choice. And sometimes it's a conscious effort that needs practice and learning. But if you can instill that mindset into your children as they're growing, the lens that they are forming, that they will then use to look through that lens at all external stimuli for the rest of their lives, will be positive. They will look for opportunity. They will look for solutions. They will believe that they are capable of anything. And that is why I do what I do with music.